Salve. L'identità, un soggetto etereo, spirituali. Ma cosa forma un'identità? L'identità di uno Stato, una nazione, un popolo. E ecco il soggetto del nostro discorso oggi. È l'apice di tutti i discorsi che ho fatto durante 20 anni di lotta culturale e politica. Un discorso importantissimo. Lately, I proposed for consideration and debate whether Malta should join NATO. Naturally, this produced a negative reaction, neutrality and all that. Yes, it was what the Italians say, una provocazione, prodding our influencers, prime movers, to think out of the box. Debates taboo subjects like our neutrality, that holy cow. The people are sick of the same petty debates, la repetizione del monotono. I want to change that. George Bush Oliver, il primo ministro, tentava far Malta parte della NATO, ma non le hanno permesso neanche come observer status e l'occasione fu persa. Ma oggi, dopo tanti anni, si può discutere. Malta avrebbe una voce che conta, ma non contro la Russia, ma per fare Dugin's Euro-Siberia. Would it be advantageous for Malta to apply for membership in NATO? Finland and Sweden have joined the club, and Switzerland has 1 foot in. So what do? We need protection from increasing pressure of the littorio sud del Mediterraneo. But our people, brainwashed over the years, respond with a knee-jerk reaction. Malta is neutral. We can't join any alliance. Ma scusita, chi bolla, sbolla. Mintoff believed his own squalid socialist nonsense. Equality and all that. He made the grave mistake of viewing the Mediterranean as a whole, when it is not. A straight horizontal line divides it, il littorio nord e il littorio sud, and Malta is smack in the middle, straddling both. We thump our chest proclaiming we are Europeans, and yet we speak Arabic. Maltese actually prefer African blacks to Arabs, però jaħsbu bl-Arbi, jitkellmu bl-Arbi, u jbossu bl-Arbi. The Maltese are the most schizophrenic people in the world, utterly confused, un popolo in cerca di una identità. Mintoff just let the Brits leave. We should have paid them to stay, just like Brunei pays for an RAF fighter squadron and the 421 Commando Jungle Regiment. These guard the vast oil resources of Brunei from the predatory clutches of Indonesia. And Mintoff should have done the same. Instead, he performed backward somersaults con il littorio sud, joint guarantees by Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, and what not. And see where it got us. See how we ended up. And when Mintoff met Gaddafi in a tent in the middle of the desert and spent 2 hours lecturing him till he almost lost his voice, Mintoff finally asked, "And what area do you consider to be Libya's oil region?" To which Gaddafi coolly replied, "Up to Dingley Cliffs." And Mintoff learned his lesson. He finally opened his eyes. He booted the Libyans out after they sent a gunboat to prevent Tiny Malta from searching for oil in our area. Gave Gaddafi an Aladdin candle holder so as to search for a friend. But it was too late. Mintoff's policy of treating the Mediterranean as a whole was a dismal failure. We need protection by the Littorio Nord from the increasing pressure of the Littorio Sud. Europe is no longer what it used to be. It is the EU, full of globalists. But we can change it. It is changing. The hidden enemy controlling the EU, including von der Leyen and Il Facciola, is losing the battle of the media. Their mask has been torn off to reveal their ugly faces. The mark of Cain. And the same with NATO. It can be changed. Malta can be the voice that changes NATO, so it becomes a vehicle for Euro-Siberia, from the Channel to Vladivostok, towards the final step, Imperium Europa. Malta should consider joining NATO so as to be a voice of opposition to all this Jewish madness. The EU is changing, and so could NATO. La storia la facciamo noi. E ora la NATO. L'ammiraglio Giuseppe Cavo Dragone, chairman of the military committee, is NATO's senior military officer. By virtue of being the principal military advisor to the Secretary General and the conduit through which consensus-based advice from the chiefs of defense of all NATO member countries is brought forward to the political decision bodies of NATO. I had to read this apart from a slip of paper because I know what a delicate subject it is. L'ammiraglio Cavo Dragone is very glad of our initiative to place Malta in NATO, and he actively supports it. So we have the right man at the right place in the right time. As I wrote in my Imperium Europa, the book that changed the world, the Mediterranean race does not exist. The lie that we are not Europeans but Mediterraneanids, uttered by our first socialist prime minister, did more harm to our people than all the bombs dropped on us during World War II. It deracinated us. It confused our people. It literally shattered our sense of nationhood. There exist two distinct races: Europeans to the north of the Mediterranean and Semites to the south of the same sea. The Europeans consist of Northwest Europeans, Germans and English, Norwegian and Swedes, Northeast Europeans, the Finns, and the Sud Europeans, Portuguese, Spanish, Italians, Greeks, Balkan Slavs, Romanians, etc. In fact, most European populations, Germans, English, Finns, and Italians, have exchanged genes during the past 4,000 years and are very closely related and compatible. On the other hand, Semites, or as they are generally known, Arabs, are either pure Semites, Saudis, or mixed with Berbers or Negrids. Anwar Sadat of Egypt comes to mind. Thus the Mediterranean, even at the Gibraltar Point, just 10 miles wide, is the great divide between these two races. The Europeans to the north, the Semitic to the south. And we, Maltese, are conscious, proud to belong within the European fold. And we have to take care of our genetic affinity. We must not contaminate our ethnicity. We must not mix with Arabs, or worse, much worse, with sub-Saharan Negrids. We must not listen to those communists and pernicious priests, those NGOs, those who control the media and who want to destroy our people, our ethnicity and our identity. U b'daqshekk imbilli tispiċċa r-razza Maltija, daqshekk x'fiha. Dak il-professur ta' ċingi, kuljum fuq il-medja, l-università, il-velenu, il-ħdura li għandu lej ġensu stess. Anyway, you only have to look at him. These communists and pernicious priests are moved by a self-hate, an envy that pushes them into invoking racial suicide. We must expose them for what they are. Traitors. Traitors to the race, that race of biological aristocrats, the Europeans. Traitors to their civilization, the greatest to have graced this planet and grazed the moon. Traitors to their very own ancestors who kept them as they are, Europeans through thousands of years of racial discrimination. Traitors to their people who naively gave them trust. Traitors to our children, malignantly and maliciously pushed, blindfolded and brainwashed into a horrendous multiracial future. And finally, traitors to themselves, for deep down they know what damage they are doing. It is their self-hate that makes them persevere in their diabolical plan. Questa è una battaglia di cultura. It is a battle of cultures that we are facing and fighting. We of Imperium Europa are fighting this fight conscious that there is nobody else. Our people have been left to themselves. They are leaderless, confused and blind. We are the few manning the wide breaches, the unguarded beaches. We must save this island. We must heal this island. We must prevail, as otherwise thousands of history, of racial consciousness, of identity will be lost. We would have bestowed the Haiti to our innocent children, and this must not be. Yes, we will fight. Like our ancestors during the Great Siege, we will choose to remain true to our identity. No matter how few we are, no matter the odds, we will fight. We of Imperium Europa have become the only focal point left on this island, abandoned to itself, misguided by traitors, politicians and priests. We are those 300 Spartans fighting on till our last breath, that Athens and civilization will be saved. To conclude, the Mediterranean lie, the Mediterranean race is a lie that Don Mintoff swallowed. Hook, line, u l-ispiritira. It was invented by the Jews in order to yank out the Latins from the Europid fold, the soft underbelly. When that happens, as it could happen, the Muslims will overrun the Alpines, concerned only with their bank-numbered accounts and cuckoo clocks. That would leave the Nordics on their own. Finns, Swedes, and Norwegians. They are too few, and Sweden in particular has been weakened by the hidden enemy. Whole towns are now no-go areas. Somehow they must rediscover their pagan past, return to Ragnar, otherwise the whole of Europe will fall to the Muslims, from the Arctic to the Maghreb. Hence the importance of us Latins. Malta and Italy could save Europe. I urge all Maltese to study Italian, watch Italian TV, and speak Italian. It is our true language, derived from Latin. We allowed the perfidious British to force Italian out and to foist this Arabic dialect upon us. The British divested us of our true identity, our Latinity. Why did they do this? Because the Brits know that language is power. The Brits imposed English on 1 billion Indians. Just 12,000 civil servants ran India, and ran it very well. Not with computers or AI, but with the abacus, those colored beads going horizontally up and down. They forced 100 million Nigerians to speak English. And I ask, are we Maltese Indians? Are we Nigerians? We are Latins, and Italian is our true language. And finally, I would like to end this discourse remembering that young man who gave his life for Malta, an unsung hero, a patriot and a martyr. Onore a Carmelo Borch Pisani. Onore Viva Imperium Europa! Questa idea splendida, l'unica che può salvare la razza bianca, la nostra civiltà. Viva Malta, questa isola sacra, piena di spiritualità, e viva la nostra cara Italia. Ave